Customer feedback is essential for understanding user satisfaction, product improvements, and business decisions. However, manually analyzing large amounts of feedback can be challenging. An AI powered customer feedback analyzer automates this process by extracting sentiment, categorizing responses, and generating insights. Using DeepSeek AI, we can build a system to process reviews, survey responses, and feedback to provide actionable insights. And that's what we will be doing in Project 21, which is our AI based customer feedback analyzer with DeepSeek AI. Now, why use an AI feedback analyzer? It automates sentiment analysis where it detects positive, negative, and neutral feedback. It extracts key themes, like it identifies common issues and suggestions. It improves decision making. It provides actionable insights for business improvement. It processes large data efficiently, where it handles thousands of reviews in minutes. And it supports multiple languages, where it works across global customer bases. Now, let's look at some of the common use cases. We can use it for analyzing product reviews from e commerce platforms, evaluating customer complaints in support tickets, understanding user feedback from surveys, measuring brand perception from social media comments, and detecting trends in customer satisfaction over time. How the AI feedback analyzer works? The AI powered tool will receive customer feedback, which is text input, perform sentiment analysis, whether it's positive, negative, or neutral, extract the key themes and issues, and provide actionable insights. Let's look at an example analyzing a product review. The user input, which is the customer review, is the phone has a great battery life, but the camera quality is disappointing. And the AI generated analytics says sentiment is mixed, positive about battery life, negative about camera quality. The key issues here is camera performance needs improvement, and suggested action is enhance camera features in the next model. Let's look at setting up the AI feedback analyzer. Again, let's build a Python script to analyze customer feedback using DeepSeek AI. Here the three steps that we'll follow is first we'll install the dependencies, which is request and Gradio. Next, we're going to create a Python script and then run that script. So let's go ahead. First step, I already created project 21. Inside this folder, I'm going to go ahead and check if I have request and Gradio. Looks like I have because I've been working with those for all the projects. Next is I'm going to create a Python script. So I'm going to go here, create a new file, save this file as feedback underscore analyzer dot py inside the project 21 folder. And here I'm going to start with importing request first, then I'll import Gradio as gr. Next, I'm going to get my DeepSeek API URL, which is Olama URL, which is http localhost 11434 /API /generate. Next, we're going to write the function which is analyze feedback, which takes the feedback text as a parameter. And then we'll create a prompt where I'm saying analyze the following customer feedback, which is the feedback text we receive. And I'm going to say provide sentiment analysis, whether it's positive, neutral, or negative, and give you the key themes and actionable insights. So next, I'm going to create my payload where I'm going to say model that I want to use is DeepSeek R1. Prompt is prompt that we have here, and stream is false, which means I want all the data in one shot. Response equal to, I'm going to say request.post, pass that Olama URL, and pass the payload. Next, I'm going to check if the response status code is equal to 200, which means everything is good. I'll say return response.json.get the response key in there and the value that response holds. If not, I'll say no insights generated. If there was an error or some other status code, I'll say return error response.text. Next, let's go ahead and test the AI feedback analyzer. So if name equal to main, I'll say test feedback is I love the laptop's performance, but the keyboard feels cheap. I'll say print AI feedback analysis, analyze feedback. I'm going to call this function and I'll pass this test feedback. So I'll save this. That's our Python script. Now let's go ahead here and say Python feedback analyzer.py. It's going to run that and give me an output based on what DeepSeek AI gives me back. So let's give it a few seconds. And there you go. We have our output here. It thought about it and it says sentiment analysis is neutral. The customer expresses a strong positive sentiment about the laptop's performance, but a negative perception regarding the keyboard's quality. Key themes are performance, which is the positive feedback, and the keyboard quality. Actionable insights is the company should focus on enhancing the keyboard's quality and so on. So we got the point, and this is pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into our next section, which is creating a web app for customer feedback analysis. Here, we're going to build a Gradio web interface where users can enter customer feedback and receive AI generated insights. We will go ahead and modify the feedback analyzer.py and then we're going to run the web app. So let's go ahead back to this project. Again, as usual, we don't need this and we need to create our Gradio interface. We have already imported Gradio above here. All we have to do is go here and write the code for it. I'll start by saying create Gradio interface, where I'll create the interface, which is gr.interface, and the function that is I'm going to call is analyze feedback, which needs one text, which means I'm going to create a text box, lines 5, placeholder, paste the customer feedback here. Next, I'm going to say outputs equal to gr.textbox label AI generated insights, and then I'll say title equal to AI powered customer feedback analyzer. Description is enter customer feedback and AI will analyze the sentiment and provide key insights. Close that. Go ahead and I'll say name equal to main is interface launch. This will launch our web app. So I'm going to save this and go ahead here and run the same application again, the Python file again. It will go ahead, give me a URL and usual. Let's see the web app, and there you go. That's our web app. And here I need to provide a feedback text. I'm just going to say here enter customer feedback. I'm going to say I love the laptop's performance. It's the best laptop and keyboard is just amazing. So I'm giving pretty positive feedback. I'm going to go ahead and submit it. It's going to go and call that API, which is the API generate from Olama, and call DeepSeek R1 and give me the results based on the sentiment that it thinks about this particular statement. And there you go. It gave me the results. It has my sentiment analysis as positive. Key themes are performance of the laptop and quality of the keyboard. And it says enhance the laptop's performance to meet or exceed. So that's what it says, that I need to exceed customer expectations. So already I'm saying the performance is better. And it says improve the keyboard for even better. Always try to achieve the best, even if you have the best things. So that's what the DeepSeek AI is telling me. So now that we have our web application running, our next step is enhancing the feedback analyzer. What we're going to do here is first we'll categorize the feedback by topic. We can modify the AI prompt to classify feedback into predefined categories. So for that, what I can do is I can go here to my code and just change this prompt to something like this. I'll say analyze the customer feedback and classify into categories like product, service, price, and delivery based on the feedback text that we have provided. I can comment this out and then accordingly use this, and this will make sure that it will kind of classify it into categories based on what it is. And in this particular case, since it's a laptop, it will say product. But if you're talking about service, it will put over there, and depending on what the text that you provide here in the customer feedback, it will accordingly classify that. So now our AI can categorize feedback into relevant business areas. Next, we want to look at tracking customer sentiment over time. Now, to track sentiment trends, we need to store the results in a database and visualize the changes. So for that reason, we'll probably also need to import pandas as PD because we want to get the data frame. So for that, I can go ahead and store the feedback analysis in a data frame. I can say feedback data equal to pd.data frame, and column says feedback, sentiment, key issues, and suggested action. And based on this, I can make sure that I can track the sentiment trends and store the results in this database and visualize the changes. So that's the process for that. I'm going to go ahead and comment this because we don't want to run this right now. But this is the way to go ahead, and then your AI can monitor sentiment trends based on this data. Our next step is to deploying as an API. Now, to integrate the feedback analyzer into business applications, you probably already have a lot of applications in your company. Let's say you're a retail business and you want to integrate this, you can deploy it using Fast API pretty quickly. What you can do is you can go here. Let me kill this and clear it out. And I'll say pip install. I need Fast API and UVCon. Let's see if we have this installed. Since we've been doing it quite a lot, it is there. If not, it will install it, clear it out, and here I'm going to create a new app, call it app.py, and inside this I will go ahead and import Fast API by saying import Fast API from Fast API, import request. I'm going to create my application, the Fast API application, by saying app equal to Fast API. This will create an instance of the app. Next, I'm going to say Olama URL is HTTP localhost 11434 API generate, where my Olama server is running. Then I'll create an endpoint app.post analyze feedback. Here, I'm going to create a function which, when this endpoint hits, it's going to call this. It's going to pass the data with the dictionary, and the prompt is analyze customer feedback based on the feedback that is provided and provide sentiment and insights. Next, I'm going to create my payload with model as DeepSeek R1. Prompt is this prompt and stream is false. Next, I'm going to say response request.post Olama URL and JSON payload. Now that's our application, pretty short and sweet. And now to run this application, all you have to do is, so before running the application, we'll have to return response.json.get response, no analysis available if there was no response. And then you can run using this command. So let's copy this, go here, run this command, and my application is running. Now I can open Postman, and in here create my request. I'll say this is a post request, and my endpoint is analyze feedback. So I'll say analyze feedback, and it needs a dictionary with feedback. So I'm going to say body, and inside this I'll say raw in JSON format, and in here I'll say my feedback. Okay, let's feedback is, what is the customer feedback? Let's pick the one that we have already given earlier, something like this. We take this here, paste it here, and send. This will call that API, and it will try to give me back the data once it processes through DeepSeek AI. So let's wait for it a few seconds. And there you go. We have the feedback here. It goes through that, and then it says sentiment is the feedback contains mixed emotions, as we have expected. I love the laptop's performance, but it worked. That's the main point. And we have our API up and running, and this can be integrated with your business needs. I hope it was helpful and you were able to follow along and get this implemented. If you had any issues or problems implementing this, let me know in the messages and I'll get back to you. Now, to go over the summary of what we covered today, we built an AI-powered customer feedback analyzer. We created a web app for interactive sentiment analysis. We enhanced feedback tracking with categorization and trend analysis. And finally, we deployed the feedback analyzer as an API for businesses. Our next video will be based on real-time AI news summarizer, where we fetch and summarize latest news.